We finished from our breakfast, nice big breakfast, and I'm gonna give you a little heads up on something. And you have to recognize certain things. If you don't recognize certain things, even though we go to different restaurants and different places to eat, prejudice is there. You cannot sit there and pretend that it doesn't exist. Because it do. Prejudice exists because you do have some people who still are ignorant of color, skin, and language barrier. Okay? You still have people who believe if you're not rich and powerful with a lot of money, I'm talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, you could be a millionaire, but people in their mindset, the way they got things is corrupted. You could feel a negative energy around you. You could feel a negative energy. You know what I'm saying? And people just don't want to grow up out of their false sense of security. They believe. And what's even more funny is a lot of these people come from other countries to come here in New York City, and they move and bring this insane behavior, because that's how they are. Or they grew up, and if they didn't grow up that way, they learned it. Now, the restaurant is a good restaurant. Yayo's, it's a great restaurant. You know, my wife loves it. Am I right, Dean? Mm. But you can still tell the foolishness, because there was a group of people that was behind us, and they spoke Spanish, but they also changed their language. Did you catch that? Mm-hmm. They didn't just speak Spanish. The guy came in the restaurant and asked the lady, now you in a Dominican freaking restaurant, and you're gonna ask the lady, the waitress, who looked like she's Spanish, obviously, but looks can be conceiving, we know that. So he says, do you speak Spanish? She said yes. So he spoke to her in Spanish only when he needed to. But obviously that was not his native tongue, because he started speaking a different language. Did you recognize that? Mm-hmm. What language do you think that was? Mm-hmm. Now he started speaking this different language. And this is how these people come here into the States, or their fathers or their mothers moved here into the United States and landed in one of these boroughs. And their native tongue they speak at home. But they use a native tongue when they're outside. They don't want nobody else to know what they're talking about, or if they are talking about you. But what they don't realize is this. All you got to do is listen and feel the frequencies. Understand this, y'all. Feel the energy around you and the frequencies. They will give it away. I told you before, language don't mean a goddamn thing. You sit down and you listen, and you begin to see and you begin to hear how people and their foolish behavior. And all we all here to do is enjoy a good meal.
In Brooklyn.
Enjoy a good meal. That's all we here to do. So you're gonna have the good, the bad, and the ugly. And when I do my video, you know how I do. You know how I do. I put in that work. I put that work in. Because we're dealing with this on a daily basis. You know, even though my wife and I, we go out to have a good time, but you still got to deal with assholes from time to time. You just got to deal with that. It's not like you want to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? And And I will tell you this. Give the people good tips. Give them good tips, because when you give them good tips, I don't mean $5 shit like that. I mean $10 and better. The reason why you give people good tips is because they have the impression on you will be completely different. You heard what I said? So when you go out, make sure you give the people good tips, because you want them to have a good impression on you. If you give them bad tips, guess what happened? They're not gonna remember the bad thing, like, oh, that blocker, that blackie. You know, people are just, they sense of humor and the way they think. It's crazy, but it's real. But I just want to put that out there. You know what I'm saying? Even though my wife and I, we're gonna enjoy ourselves regardless. You know what I'm saying? But I was letting you know that I felt the frequency, and I noticed how the guy switched his language up from Spanish for Spanish speaking, and he spoke another language. It almost had like a Russian / something, because it wasn't Spanish. What do you think about Portuguese? What do you think? You think that was it there? That's what you're speaking? My wife says no Portuguese, not Portuguese. It wasn't Brazil. We know it wasn't Brazil. I heard the way Brazilian people talk. They speak faster. They're like, the Brazilians' Latin language is faster, like that. But the Brazilian language is like a Portuguese, right? It's like a Portuguese language. It's still Latin, but it's a European Latin. You understand? Just because somebody's from here in the United States or New York City speaks Spanish, the same Spanish dialogue is not the same. Remember that. But he was speaking something. I couldn't catch it. You understand? Because I'll sit there and I'll listen, and then I'll start looking to see your body movements and stuff like that. You know, like, it didn't mess up my day. It was I'm real fascinated. I'm real fascinated by things like that and how people's behavior is. You understand? How people, they come to here in our America, in our the way we live. And I'm not saying they wasn't born here, but I bet you anybody money their mother and father probably wasn't. And then their mother and father moved here. So that makes them American because they were born here. If that. That's all that's hypothetically. So, but I'm very fascinated at the fact that the frequency was, there was a slight negativity frequency, because one of the guys was sitting behind me and he jumped up and switched to the other side. You understand? So it didn't bother me, because if you didn't want to sit behind us, you should never sat there in the first place. Because when my wife and I, we was in a restaurant, we sat what we wanted. And then another group of people came in and sat where they wanted. It looked like it. Am I correct? So that's what it looked like. But it's not the restaurant. Yayo's is a nice restaurant. You will get your stomach filled up. Don't get it twisted. You will get your stomach filled up. So always enjoy your day. Remember, even though you can have a wonderful day, but you don't know what kind of people you're dealing with. And this is the reason why I'm recording and putting this out there for the melanin race. What you truly have to deal with on a daily basis. Did you feel any negativity, Boo? You wasn't really paying no attention to it? Mm-hmm. Boo wasn't paying attention to it. Am I right, Boo? Mm. So Boo was chilling, but she was on the opposite side of me. You know. I'm SHU AMUN RA. And this is class. We're going to learn all this. Learn this here. All of these videos is for class for today. I just want you to know that. So, peace.